Y'all already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
Yeah, man, that right there is the OTF jam that I've been waiting for. So basically, it seems like Durk was grooming him to be his hitter. And also from the looks of it is, OTF Jam, when he went to prison for 10 years, he had already caught a body. And when he got out of prison, they came back to him and was like, we know you caught that body. Ain't no jurisdiction on unaliving, right? Yes. And so he was actually a federal agent against Durk while he was still locked up and got out playing his role, bro. This is exactly why he ain't named in this indictment. He's the third shooter, bro. The whole time he was switching up. The whole time he was playing in Durk's face, bro.
What? You was in the courtroom.
I'm in the courtroom every single day covering this stuff, man.
Damn.
The third shooter's OTF Jam. Nigga, they got, hey, and check this. That was in the car. We been knew that. Yeah, we been knew that, but the feds didn't want to unpack that. So me covering these cases, bro, I got to go by the information as it come through, right?
Yeah.
So the streets knew that. I ain't finna be like Trap Lil Ross snitching on a nigga. You understand what I'm saying? But, and Trap Lil Ross out here disrespecting black women, calling them bro. Bro, that nigga's doing the most, bro.
Wait,
and he feeling himself, bro.
I think the Trap Lord, he just doing what you doing, man.
Yeah, but he doing the most, bro.
You know, this case make me reflect back to when I was in jail for homicide. We used to be in the bullpens. The bullpens is when you go into court and you waiting to see the judge. Sometimes you be in there for hours. You get up like 4:45, 5 o'clock in the morning to eat breakfast, and for them to get you into the bullpens to wait for the buses to come get you to take you to go to court. And we used to have discussions based off of what was going on in the courtroom with the court procedures of whoever case was going to trial. I would learn a lot from a dummy. See, when we used to get locked up, they put you in the why me pens, and you be sitting there with your hands on the bars in the why me pen, thinking to yourself, why me? Now back to this court case. It's amazing because when you look at this situation with Jam and you analyze this situation with Jam was jammed up. He was in jail already waiting to play his position to take down Durk.
So it is official, OTF Jam took the stand today and it was absolutely wild. There's so many quotables from OTF Jam's testimony and it was just absolutely insane. Now what I'm gonna say that was very, very interesting is off the rip, OTF Jam said why he was there, what was going on, the conditions of his plea, and he basically confirmed that he was copping to 3 murders as part of his deal. There was a conspiracy to commit murder for hire, an apparent kidnap for murder, and a robbery murder. Now, it was crazy, and he actually touched on one of the murders that he actually did way back in the day that was part of his plea. So obviously one of them is the Durk conspiracy, you know, the murder for hire of Lil Pab, but another one was a 2010 apparent robbery in Racine, Wisconsin. Apparently another black disciple had asked OTF Jam to go with him to rob somebody that his dad had sold drugs with. The older BD basically said that this guy had cheated him out of money and then they went to rob him. They went into a store with him, they basically locked the door, they put guns to the guy, there was a fight, and Jam was told to shoot the guy. Jam shot him once, and the guy that he was with, the older BD, said, nah, he saw my face, kill him. He saw me. And what did Jam do? Jam said he put the gun to the guy's head and pulled the trigger and executed him on the spot. He was age 17 at the time. So that's now 2 of Jam's murders that we've had confirmed, but he is probably going to testify later on about a 3rd murder that he did. And I think it could be possible that that's the one that Durk and them actually took him into the bathroom to kind of confront him about, to say, you out here catching even more bodies, you getting the feds on us, you getting everything hot, you need to calm it down with these. So that's the latest. Jam was on the stand. I've got loads of updates about stuff that Jam said, but basically Jam's copped out to 3 bodies. He's helping the feds, and he is saying that Durk did it. He's saying that Durk led the conspiracy. He pointed out all 3 defendants, said, hey, they was in on it.
Sometimes you gotta pause. And I ain't saying pause because you're gay, but you gotta pause, you gotta sit down, and you gotta think, and you gotta reflect. How many of you dudes out there right now that's still playing in the streets, that got a nigga that's infiltrating you, that didn't even get in your circle yet? The feds knew they was on their way to you from the penitentiary and got them before they even got to your doorstep, before they even hit the block. Now think about it. Remember, in the words of Dane Calloway, I just came to make you think. Because what we've learned in the hood, there's nobody too big or too small for the FBI to arrest. I always feel like somebody's watching me. They won't give me no pride. They watching. They listening. And they analyzing. And see, on the road to success, when you climbing the ladder of success and you getting shows, you doing shows where you making $250,000 every show, you might decide to drop down to 100,000, and you making that kind of money, you're rich. And the one thing a white man is never going to trust is a rich black man, even if he helps you to make you rich. See, it's okay when you doing the devil's work and you making niggas slide. They've been had enough evidence to come get Durk.
So it looks like it's official. Duty Low has been confirmed as co-conspirator number 4, and the person who confirmed it was OTF Jam himself. Now, we've been wondering who was it that gave the location of Quando Rondo in LA to the alleged hitmen, to Durk, to the team, and all of that kind of stuff. Well, what is crazy is that we found out that there was apparently like a crazy conversation after basically like all the hitmen arrived in San Diego. Apparently none of them knew what was going on, but they had an inkling something crazy was going on. And I'm not going to lie, Durk really put himself in it with some of this stuff. So apparently, okay, all of the hitmen were kind of rounded up for some kind of secret mission. They didn't know what was going on. They all quickly got booked to these flights to San Diego. And apparently when Jam and another one of the hitters basically arrived, they went to a Hooters in San Diego. They got on a FaceTime with Duty Low, who told them that they got the location for Quando Rondo. They got the low from basically like a weed dealer that was going to go and take them some weed, and that they were basically going to trick him into coming outside to pick up weed, and they were going to kill him outside of his hotel. Well, it's confirmed that that was Duty Low. Now, not only did we were hearing about Duty Low being in group chats, and I thought, oh, maybe they're going to show some series of messages with Duty Low and other stuff that he had said, but it was Jam that took the stand and said that it was Duty Low that basically told them after they'd arrived in California that they were there on a mission to kill Quando Rondo. And Jam said something really interesting. He said, look, he felt like it was too hot to kill somebody in Los Angeles. He was thinking, there's too many police. I don't know the city. I don't know how to get away if I get in a high-speed chase, if I get hurt. I don't know where I'm going. This is a bad idea. But he said it was too late. I was already there, and I just went with it. So OTF Jam told the courtroom, he basically said, look, where I'm from, you don't stop nobody killing somebody. That's what gets you killed. They said that they'll think you're police. They'll get mad at you if you say that you want to stop a killing happening. But he wasn't really happy about it because he said he didn't consider himself in the Quando beef. He said he wasn't that close with King Von. They spoke a couple of times. And what was crazy is Jam said that way back in the day before he knew Von, he was trying to rizz up King Von's sister. But he said he didn't feel like he should have had to be one of those people that slid for Von because that wasn't his homie. He said, look, he wasn't my man's. We didn't kick it. I didn't love him. I didn't feel like that was my mission. And he's saying they were in Hooters on FaceTime with Duty Low, and basically Jam and Boogie looked at each other after they were told to go and kill Quando, and they basically just looked at each other and said, yeah, But what was even more crazy is obviously now we know Duty Low was co-conspirator number 4 that was given the drop. They were apparently waiting outside Quando Rondo's hotel, and Duty Low told them that basically the guy that they thought they were getting weed from was telling Quando Rondo that he was just a few minutes away from the hotel. This is going to... I might have to say this in a different video because we run out of time. But basically, they had eyes on Quando Rondo outside the hotel. They were about to kill him, but the police rode by. Apparently, Didi upped his gun, pointed it at Quando, and said, I could kill him right now. It would be so easy. But they said, nah, the block's too hot. There's too many cops out here downtown LA. I'm not going to go through with it. And then they went back to the crib. Insane.
And all the things that Vaughn was doing, it didn't matter until he broke that contract with the devil. See, when Durk was rising to fame, Durk went through the door. The door, he went through one of them doors. But when he sat on his knees and he said, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, and he bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger, he betrayed the oath of the industry. And then he put out a roll call, and the whole hood turned Muslim. And what better man to have by your side than your father? As your Sahaba, your brother, in faith, and your father in real life, a dude that stand up, solid. You know what kind of energy that brings to the hood? And for whatever reasons, Durk always kept his foot in the hood. He didn't get Hollywood. I'm going to say it again for y'all to understand. When you sit back and you analyze life, I don't care what level, on every level, there's a new devil. Life is like a video game. It's a test. You pass one board, it's on to the next board. But at the end of every test, there's somebody or something waiting for you. You got to get around that obstacle.
I might have heard one of the damnest things in this whole trial today when OTF Jam was actually on the stand. He said that there was basically all these frantic phone calls made when they got Quando Rondo's location to a bunch of hitters in Chicago trying to get them on a job. It was Didi and Booney Mo. Apparently Booney Mo was specifically the person that called him and basically asked him about being involved. But he had Lil Durk on a FaceTime call on another phone on speaker. So Jam knew that Durk was there and that he was privy to this call. He overheard Booney Mo saying, blood, you there on the other line? And then basically, apparently, all right, he didn't have any info about what the hit was going to be. So Jam tried to call Lil Durk directly 2 times. Durk didn't answer. And then Booney called him back and said, hey, Durk doesn't want no one calling his phone that's coming out to LA. He didn't want no contact with anyone that's flying out to LA. So Jam said, like, he knew something crazy was going on, but he didn't actually know what the details were. He ends up getting flown out to LA. And this absolutely blew my mind. He ends up getting flown out to San Diego, driven to LA. They're in this like Sprinter bus, okay? They stop off at a Hooters in San Diego and they basically get told on a FaceTime by Duty Low they got Quando Rondo's location, and the whole reason they've been flown out there is to kill him. They're going to trick him and say that somebody's going to come and deliver him some weed at his hotel, and they're going to kill him outside his hotel. But what was crazy is after that, okay, Didi got on FaceTime apparently with Lil Durk in the Sprinter bus and apparently showed Lil Durk the hitters on FaceTime. Apparently, Didi turned his phone to show Durk all of the hitters and said, yeah, you see the Navy SEALs, all right? And then Jam basically gave testimony. They said, like, what was your understanding of what he meant? He was saying Navy SEALs, they're guys that go on missions. They're guys that go and kill people. He said that he turned the phone so that Lil Durk could see OTF Jam, and Durk basically told Jam, yeah, go crazy. And Jam slammed the rakes. He threw GDK and then basically, like, you know, threw up the GD sign. He let the court know what that was. And then basically they kept on going to LA. What's even more crazy is they apparently stopped off on the way and everybody tried to take a picture of the LA skyline, but it was too dark. But the hitmen were really pulling up to the side of the road in the Sprinter after having FaceTimes with Durk, taking pictures of where they were at. They were loving the view. And then they also stopped off at, they said they stopped off at a store. He said, I wasn't sure if it was Target or Walmart, but they basically went there to buy hoodies and gloves, you know, to disguise themselves. They said nobody brought hoodies and gloves with them, so they needed to get them there. After that, apparently once they got to LA, they met with OTF Vonnie, and OTF Vonnie pulled up. You know what Vonnie said to them? One of the first things Vonnie said to them, he said, hey guys, I got bad news. They said, what's the bad news? He said, I only got 3 guns. Absolutely crazy. Then started putting guns in people's hands. He said that he had 2 Glocks with extendos. One of them had a switch on it, and the other one was a Beretta, kind of more of an old school gun. And he's saying that Didi apparently, he alleged that, I think it was Didi, he alleged that he put the Beretta in Jam's hand and said, "I'm rusty." And basically it's like, yeah, you got this. Didi wasn't going to shoot. It's crazy.
And one of those obstacles for Durk was Jam. But I'm going to give you an even bigger picture. See, the feds was playing hardball. And it's crazy because I ain't got all the pieces that I need from the interviews that I need, because I ain't have enough time to chop in school and have, you know, my people chop the videos up. But Vonnie, I promise y'all I'm going to bring the video if it be the will of Allah. Vonnie's father is sitting up there telling a story of how his son set King Von up. And if Vonnie set King Von up from day one, somewhere, somehow, the Fed's been using him to set Durk up too. But y'all missed that part. And the funny part about it is, I don't understand how Vonnie's father, Vonnie is one of the star witnesses too, right? He's one of the key players, right? He's one of the heavy hitters. His father is telling you and telling people that King Von, the hit on King Von, came from his son. He was there when they dropped the hit money off. Does the police have anything to do with that? Was the King Von hit a government hit? When King Von was laying on the floor, he had a tight grip on Rondo. He couldn't get out. He was still strong. How'd he get to the hospital and die so fast? We all know what happened to Martin Luther King when he got to the hospital. He was still alive. Until one of the doctors, y'all know the rest, so y'all know the rest? It's wicked out here in these streets. You can't trust nobody. That's why you got to pay attention to the warning signs. I know God gave me spidey senses. I would believe he gave y'all some too. You don't know how to use them? They don't just kick in when things don't feel right? Or y'all so high that y'all can't even tell what's going on? Yo, the way this case is playing out is for everybody. Even if you're not in the streets. Remember the singer Selena? She wasn't in the streets. But her manager turned her TV off out of jealousy. Most of the time, your enemies don't be the ones that take you out. What about your friends? Are they gonna stand their ground? Are they gonna be around? I mean, they smile in your face. All the while they want to take your place. The backstabbers. Why do you think I tell you to live life as if you want to run? Because the police is already, they already doing their surveillance. Your friends are setting you up. You never know when you have to drop something. I told you to stay dangerous at the same time. If little Durk didn't have so many shooters around him, one of them probably would have took him out. He got too many around him, so you can't get to him like that. So the only way to get to him, the way they want to get to him, is that the FBI got to put him in jail. You'll never see Durk making the mistakes that Quando Rondo, that happened with Quando Rondo and King Vaughn. Durk don't make those mistakes. Outside, everybody at the club, you fight and there's no guns on deck. That's not even King Vaughn's style. That was Vaughn's style. It was his whole setup. See, the thing about it is, when you listen to when you listen to Vaughn's father break it down, Vaughn saying to him, "You let me get you. You let that nigga get me." Vaughn didn't get revenge on King Vaughn because he loved him. He got revenge on King Vaughn because he knew he was already working for the feds. And when King Vaughn went down, rather when FBG, I'm bugging, my mind is all over the place. When Durk went down, he already had this getaway card, this get out of jail free card. See, what the feds ain't gonna tell you is that Vaughn been working for them too. Y'all think I'm wrong? Am I lying? Put it in the comment section. It's a cold world even when it's hot outside. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and pay attention to your circle before they hurt you. Live life as if you're on a run and stay dangerous at the same time. And y'all stay tuned because there's so much coming out in this court case every day. I'll be trying to keep y'all posted on the things that I see that I could talk about from my perspective. I don't want to just keep posting, but this case is deep. Especially if you're still in the streets. Wow.